Well, isn't it kind of, I mean, it seems kind of weird that when people talk about you that I've heard most often, it's okay, you know, he's got these great pop songs, really, really pop, and then on the other hand, it's like two parts. That's part one. Part two
Right.
is he's a great blues rock
Oh, cool.
guitarist, and they talk about it, you know, but like it's two separate
They
halves.
are. They have been two separate halves, and what Continuum is about is taking those two separate halves and making them one thing. No longer having a side project. You know, the trio is a side project just based on the schedule of the other guys, and but for me, this is my responsibility. This is not just the third record I got to put out for my record company. This is the first record I make that is the death blow, which is taking those two kind of epoxies and putting them together. You know.
And Steve is working with you on your new solo album.
Yeah, Steve is the producer. Steve and I are producing the record, which is we have a fantastic brain trust, the two of us. We it's a really amazing thing. There's no jagged edges on it whatsoever. It is such a finely tuned machine, and so symbiotic in terms of the things that he is responsible for really nurturing are the exact kind of like concave shape of what I point out, you know. So we kind of make a full picture that way, and we overlap a lot too. But Steve and I are producing it, and
You must have a really different relationship having, I mean, after touring together and, you know.
our relationship is very interesting. It's very pure. Steve, Pino, and myself, and I include Pino in this very much. Even though Steve is producing the record, Pino's sensibility is right up in there. It's a third, a third, a third in that sense. This relationship is so pure, the way that young relationships used to be before they got tainted by bullshit. You know, it's like so pure. Every month that goes by, I thought last month was where we were really close, and then I realized that this month is where we're really close. Like, wow, me thinking we were close then, we were uncomfortable with each other then. Now we're close, but then a month from now, I'll look back and go, we were on eggshells around each other because now we're broing down, and I just love that. I love it. It's a relationship out of pure respect, straight up and we all happen to share the same desire to be the same thing, though it sounds different sometimes. We all want to be in control. We all want to control the instrument. We all want to do more with less energy. We all want to mean more, say less, all that stuff. I mean, we're all the same heroes in a way, you know?
So do you feel like the feel of the trio is like really coming into the solo album? I mean,
Yeah,
there's some of the
yeah,
same
yeah.
tracks that you wrote.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but the trio is where I'm most happy. And sometimes I just think about it on the level of like complete simplicity. Like, why would I do anything else than the one that makes me the happiest? But I can take the trio mentality and put it on this record, and it's there. You know, it's on the record. You know, 4 of the songs from Try are going to be on this record, and they're a little bit, they're in a bit of a different incarnation, so that it's a little more of the full sound, but without selling out what we've done as a band. You know,
Which songs are those?
Who'd You Think I Was, which is kind of the purest trio song. Gravity, Vultures, and Good Love Is on the Way.
And are there any more you've written that you're playing around with right now? Any
All
new
the time.
tracks?
Yeah, no, there's a bunch of tracks that we already recorded before we went on the road with the trio, and those are just as good and a little more me in terms of the way people know me. And we're at a couple more songs in the trio mentality and have a really well balanced record.
I was thinking about when you say a little more you, do you mean also lyrically? Because I think of your solo songs as maybe more kind of
They are.
like stories.
They're a little more.
A little bit.
Well, the trio thing for me as a project is really fun to just mess around with a new palette. And one of those palettes is the kind of simpler lyric approach. But no, you're right. The more me certainly signifies there being a little more of a depth lyrically. Absolutely. But to me, the lyrics can be... You can have just as much freedom with writing different styles of lyrics as you can with different styles of music. You know, when you write a song that has half the number of chords as your normal song that you write, it's okay to have classic-y feeling lyrics that don't have to expound, you know, on so much, you know. But then again, as a lyric writer, even independent of the trio, I'm starting to write less. It's almost like the less you tell a cop, the less you'll catch yourself in a lie, you know? It's kind of like that with writing these songs.
Well, Daughters seemed a lot simpler.
The Daughters was that was simpler, but still, you know, Gravity is as simple as I've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
You know, gravity is working against me. Gravity wants to bring me down. That's the verse. That's it. Oh, I'll never know what makes this man with all the love that his heart can stand. Dream of ways to throw it all away. That's like, kind of like a bridge. And the verse, or chorus. Gravity is working against me. Gravity wants to bring me down. Then we're already the next, you know, the next part. Oh, twice the man, twice as much ain't twice as good and can't sustain like one half could. It's wanting more, gonna send me to my knees. Solo.
Just so we can tell people just a little bit more about the new record. I mean, are there any songs we could talk about in particular that weren't coming off of Try and that whole experience, just brand new? Maybe some that are kind of simpler lyrically along these lines, or...
Actually, only recently have I started with the simple lyric thing, because I look back on the ones I've already done, and there's a lot of information going on in them. There's a song called Stop This Train. It has the most information that I've ever put in a song. But I needed to. It was a song about my parents. It's a song about getting older. It's a song about watching your parents get older and not wanting it to happen. And as it's happening, staring at them and saying, don't you dare leave me. Don't you dare leave me. You know? And it's kind of about that, you know.
I mean, what's kind of the feel of the song musically?
I like sweet sad. I don't like dark sad. I like sweet sad. I like chin up sad. I've always liked chin up. That's the saddest thing. The saddest kind of sad is the sad that tries not to be sad. You know? When sad tries to bite its lip and not cry and smile and go, no, I'm happy for you, that's when it's really sad.
And do you have is there how about another like just kick-ass rocker that's gonna end up on this one?
Well, Good Love Is on the Way. There's a song called In Repair, which is kind of a kick-ass rocker. It's not a kick-ass rocker, it's an anthemic rocker. If I had to categorize
Good use
it.
of anthemic.
Yes, thank you. I shouldn't be able to call my own thing anthemic, but musically, if anthemic was a musical and not a cultural